I'm Andy, and I would like to take a moment of your time to give some ideas on what could be brought into Titanfall 3 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. Cross platform. It was introduced to us in many other games like Call of Duty and other games like that, where it drew in a lot of people and a lot of players to be like, "Oh, I really love this game because I can team up with such and such who plays it on PlayStation or Xbox or PC." I think this would be a perfect opportunity to bring it into Titanfall 3, and you would definitely make the units. I understand you didn't really think of it at the time when you brought out Titanfall 2, or Titanfall for that matter. Now would be a perfect opportunity to utilize it into Titanfall 3. You would make mint just by having exactly that in your game. I mean, you brought it out in Apex Legends, but I think now would be the opportunity to bring it into Titanfall 3. Story mode. The story mode, we continue the story of Jack Cooper, who was in Titanfall 2, and it's a few years after the finale of Titanfall 2, where he's longing to get back into the chair of a Titan and reconnect with a new Titan, but still has the memories of his last Titan. So he goes about trying to reconnect with a new Titan, and along the way, he's also trying to train new recruits. The way I see it, you could either make the new recruits turn on him and turn on the militia forces, and they could be like a renegade group that could potentially cause an uproar and um, defy orders and uh, be your enemies. That could drive Jack back into a Titan and get him to go out there and fight these recruits that he's trained and get them to come back and be back with the militia forces. I think what could be brought in is like multiple paths and multiple endings. That one where you get all the recruits back and they all rejoin with the militia forces, and that's one ending. The second ending would be if you choose certain words and stuff like that, you can then make that story where you end up fighting that person. You know, it gives us the opportunity to replay the game and go through the story multiple times to see different endings. Another feature I would like to see in story mode is possibly a co-op. That way, if you want to team up with someone, you could have that ability to uh, team up with another pilot, and you could also introduce two-man Titan. I know that sounds like a Pacific Rim type of thing, but I think it can also be implemented here in Titanfall. It sounds weird, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. And of course, as you're going through the actual maps, you could be like getting to certain spots where you do need your co-op and your friend to help you out in the actual game and continue that story. And of course, it could also have multiple endings where you could either be partners at the end or you could break off certain directions and end up being the bad guys. Or like you, good guy, your friend, the bad guy, and you fight it out at the end. Or vice versa, you could end up as the bad guy and your friend could be the good guy and they could end up with that storyline, you know? Um there's so many options you could choose for an ending, and I think that would be the best way to go for Titanfall. None of this whole choose this line and it doesn't really matter what you say next. It affects the entire game. And I think that would be really cool to see that sort of stuff in a game. World destruction. Oh man. What I wouldn't give to see a Titan punch its fist into an actual building and destroy it. You know, like a special ability or something that we could use in the game. And obviously, I don't think it'll work too well in the multiplayer, but I think if we were to do it in the story mode or single player or something along those lines, it would be awesome to do. You know, like a special ability you could give us is when we're in our Titans and you're getting to that end. I can imagine running up to the enemy dropship that is trying to pick up the other pilots that have lost. You could actually punch the ship in one hit and destroy the dropship and actually kill everyone in that um, dropship. If you don't get to the enemy dropship in time, the dropship can still take off and um, get out of the battlefield, and you can still get XP and that sort of stuff. But if you, on the opposition, were to get to the dropship and were able to destroy the dropship in time, yeah, you could still get XP for the battle that you participated in, but you wouldn't get any extra for jumping into the dropship that takes you away, and you can actually, yeah, that sort of stuff, you know. But I could also see you in your Titan protecting other pilots or using your pilot to, or your Titan, I should say, to protect you from a building that's falling down in onto the actual battlefield, and um, it does take a bit of damage, but at the same time, I can see people using destructible grounds as cover and advantage points being made as you go through the actual maps in multiplayer and um that sort of stuff. You know, if you run into a building, you think I'm safe. I don't have to worry about getting killed by a Titan or by a pilot or anything. But you could be wrong. You could actually punch into that building and get a kill of that pilot on the opposition team. It would be interesting to see. You know, it's something that hasn't really been brought into Titanfall or Titanfall 2 or Apex. Um, but to have that ability to create your own um surrounding and your own cover and that sort of stuff would be interesting to put into a game like Titanfall, and I think it would do really well just to have that full immersion of a building falling onto the actual battlefield and giving us cover and um, being strategic on the actual battlefield to be like, right, I can hide behind this pillar that has fallen down onto the ground and um, use it as cover to fight against others. Or you could actually have a pilot running down a building that is collapsing at the same time, just to have that cool effect of the building falling and your pilot trying to escape from the building and that sort of stuff. It's it sounds ridiculous, but um, I think if you put the time and effort into it, you can uh, make it happen. You know, VR. It was popular with quite a few games, and I think this would be a perfect opportunity to introduce virtual reality into Titanfall and emerging yourself in a first person shooter game where you can control not just the pilot but the Titan itself. And as the pilot, you can sit in your Titan and take in the full immersion of being inside the Titan, where you can see screens or buttons or wires and anything that would stick out would be right in front of you. And you can still touch everything, but at the same time, it would be like just there in front of you. And you can customize it as much as you want to be like, I like to have this screen up here or this here, and um, have like ammo count and all that sort of stuff at the bottom or something on the side, that sort of stuff. And I can also see you as a pilot on the ground, just walking and with the VR headset and headphones and microphone and everything, you are taking in the full world of whatever planet you're on. And uh, if you step into a puddle, you can hear that puddle. If you step on a twig, you could hear that twig snap between your um, footsteps. I think that would be best in the single player, uh, and not so much the multiplayer. I don't think it would be best in multiplayer, because multiplayer does happen to get quite full on, but at the same time, you could have the single player as like training yourself to be immersed into the actual game and take in the whole reaction of the actual area, and then you could possibly jump into multiplayer using VR and um, fighting against other people that are wearing VRs or just using a controller, and having those sorts of battles and immersing yourself into that sort of stuff. It might sound ridiculous, but I think if uh, Respawn Entertainment were to do something like that, I think that would be a perfect opportunity to utilize VRs for PlayStation or PC. And if Xbox or Microsoft do happen to uh, bring out a virtual reality set for the Xbox Series X, I think it would be perfect for Titanfall 3 and that sort of stuff, you know? Customization. In Titanfall and Titanfall 2, you gave us pre-made Titans and pilots. But what if you gave us the chance to make our own pilot and Titan? We as people like to be creative, and I understand you guys like to be creative with your game and all that, but we ourselves like to create our own customizations. Like, we like to put ourselves in the game. Um, so maybe that's something you could do for us, is give us the opportunity to create ourselves in the game and give us the opportunity to create titans from certain pieces that we could uh, find throughout certain maps and certain levels and throughout gameplay and stuff like that. And it can be slightly monetized, but not too monetized. Like, you could buy certain skins uh, through the store, or you could unlock that skin through grinding and playing the game and leveling up your gameplay and being able to show it off in multiplayer and be like, this is the skin I've got, and a person on the opposition could be like, wow, that Titan looked cool. It had this and this and this. And um, with pilots, it could also be the exact same thing. You could put certain armor on and put like a robotic arm or robotic leg, or um, have limbs missing, certain damage done to the body, or certain damage done to the Titan that you could add to the actual experience of being in the game. And naturally, of course, when you go back to the main menu or uh, the customization screen, you could repair your Titan and repair your armor, repair your weapons, and everything like that. You don't exactly have to make your character human. You can branch out and make an alien life form at a certain skins and um, items you've come across. So, for example, let's say you wanted to make a full-on Android based on like Pathfinder from Apex Legends. You could do something like that, or you could um, make a character look like Bloodhound from Apex Legends, or Lifeline from Apex Legends, or even Revenant from Apex Legends. You could make those sorts of characters in Titanfall and um, give them unique abilities that they could use in the field, and it can also integrate with the Titan that they're in, and um, that sort of stuff. What I meant by the whole abilities of your pilot and Titan is when you do jump in your Titan, your abilities are transferred to the Titan, and the Titan can use its abilities, or it could use the pilot's abilities and change the course of battle and give you an edge as to what you could do in the actual battlefield and uh, attacking other opponents and uh, stuff like that. So I've dropped a few ideas for Titanfall 3, and now I'd like to move my ideas onto Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. For Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, I would like to say customization would be something that would be interesting in the sequel. In the first one, you gave us the ability to go around and find crates with lightsaber parts in it, and ponchos, and uh, skin for the mantis. And you can change that whenever you wanted. Uh, but what if you gave us the chance to do that again and allow us to customize our own uh, Jedi and uh, our own lightsaber again, and possibly create our own kyber crystal? I know that sounds a little weird, but I think if we wanted a certain color that uh, was not in the Star Wars universe, I think that'd make a lot of people come into the game and be like, "Oh, I want a pink lightsaber, or I want this colored lightsaber," and just make it fair to everyone to be not limited to the ones that are in the actual game. It'd be like we could add a little bit of red or a little bit of blue and green together and create our own little lightsaber with um, different colored lightsaber blades, and we could also make the blade longer or shorter, um, and sound different, or sound um, unique to us, and that sort of stuff. Also, give us the option of having a single blade, double blade, or the ability to hold two blades. In the first one, it was a double blade that we had to use a special move to separate it and use it together and then put it back together. But what if it was just separate all together? Like you could still maneuver two lightsabers at the same time and block gunfire from stormtroopers and other stuff like that. And uh, also, we don't exactly have to be a human. We could be an alien life form from the Star Wars universe that has been discovered along the way, or allow us to create ourselves in the game, and or other people that we come across will be like, oh, maybe we could give this Jedi Rey's hair, or give this Jedi Kylo Ren's hair, or helmet, or mask, or whatever, and then go on to create a lightsaber fitted to them, if that makes any sense. Where is it? There we are. Story mode. With story mode, this can also be customized to our liking, where we can continue the path, become a Jedi Knight, or we are led off and made to become a Sith Lord. That can depend on how you interact with the world and interact, or what abilities you use in the actual game, and uh other stuff like that. It was introduced in Star Wars Jedi Academy, where you were given the option of having all the light side of the abilities and the dark side of abilities, and you can mix and match if you want. And I think that sort of thing can be brought into Jedi Fallen Order too, where you can add these unique abilities and put them to good use in the actual game, so that you could use force push, or force pull, or mind wipe, and other stuff like that, to give you an edge on the actual game. And of course, with dialogue and everything else, you will interact with people in the game and be given the choice of be a Jedi or be a Sith, and work that way. It does give us multiple replays of the game. For cameos and Easter eggs. Cameos and Easter eggs. In Jedi Fallen Order, he gave us the chance to go around and look at echoes and absorb those echoes, and be able to uh, upgrade our health and our abilities, like our force essence, or whatever it was called. And that's something that could be implemented into the game. And what you could do with the Easter eggs is, some could lead you towards becoming a Jedi. Like it could upgrade your Jedi abilities even more. And then there would be some that would push you into becoming a Sith. Like this is what I was pretty much saying in for the story mode. Is that you could find these abilities all over the map, and it can either make you a Jedi or it can make you a Sith. As for cameos, I know in the first one you gave us Darth Vader, and it was cool. It was a epic entrance, and everything blew us all away. In the second one, I think we could eventually run into either Darth Vader again, because he's still on the hunt for Jedi and wants to kill the Jedi off so that they're no longer existent. But what if we also had the ability to go to, say, Tatooine and run into Obi-Wan Kenobi and find out that he's changed his name to Ben Kenobi so that he's not recognized, or someone says he's Obi-Wan Kenobi, um, and something along those lines. Or if you do happen to become a Sith, that's where the next cameo could be, is that you could actually have to run from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and um, eventually you do die, but you could also live to tell the tale that you escaped from a Jedi, or um, you assisted a Jedi Knight, and other stuff like that, you know? Um, and like I said, it's a story mode that you can create as you go throughout the actual game, and other stuff like that. Finally, the last idea I have in mind for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 is the ability to have multiplayer. Now, I know a lot of games are going for multiplayer, but I think if you wanted to, you could add in multiplayer and allow us to have 5v5 or 1v1 in that sort of situation, where if you have set yourself up as either a Jedi or as a Sith, you can then go up against other people from around the world and on other platforms and face them off in a lightsaber duel. And you could also try and keep it so that if someone has a controller, they can play against people with a controller, or um, keep VR people with VR people and other stuff like that. And I know that sounds like a bit of a challenge, but if you do something like that, then you're definitely gonna draw in more people, but at the same time, you don't really need to. This is just more of an idea. And I hope you do look at this and be like, some of these ideas are really cool and we really like them, and we might put some of them in. And I would really appreciate that. And I'm sure there are other people out there that are expressing their opinions. So if you do happen to see this, feel free to leave a comment, and I will respond to it as soon as I can. And so thank you for watching. I do apologize for it being a little too long. Um, Also, I do stream on Twitch, and I do occasionally play Titanfall 2, Apex Legends. So I will leave a link down below for you to click on and to follow my channel and allow you guys to interact with me and have fun chatting with me and maybe brainstorm another idea of other games that could potentially come out. So, and I will credit each and everyone that comes in with an idea, and I'd be making another video like this and be like, so this is what we need in this game, or this is what we need in that game. You know, it's that sort of stuff that I'm thinking of doing for YouTube and my Twitch channel. So yeah, I'd appreciate it if you drop on by. So again, thank you for watching and behave yourselves.